All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another exciting edition of How Do I Do This Anyways, another Vex V5 edition. This time what we're going to be playing with is we're going to be actually setting your claw and setting its position for the arm and whatnot. So in order to do this, you need to actually look at the claw, okay? So this is, stop running that. This is the claw bot I'm using right now, just standard normal claw bot, nothing fancy about it, okay? So, something to note, you need rubber bands to hold the cubes, because otherwise it's gonna slip some. So you wanna make sure you got a bunch of rubber bands on there to make sure that you've got some X's in there, and you've got a bunch of them across the top and across the bottom. But, the first thing we need to do is we need to take our claw and close it up to make a zero position, or you can open it all the way, whichever one you feel like having it. Personally, I like to just close it because it's the easiest to set it as. And we want to set this as a default zero position, along with our arm being down as the default zero position for the arm, okay? We need to record the data of where it is though, and how far it is for it to open and close as far as that angle is concerned. So, we're gonna come in here to devices on the screen. Try and get back there. We're going to click devices, and then this is where you need to know where your parts are actually hooked up. So I know that the claw on this is actually, let me double check because I don't know. Claw is on 3, so I need to look at 3 and see how it pops up there telling you the degrees. So right now, I need to record some data. For my claw, I'm just writing this down. My closed position is 4. When it's all the way open, it is at negative 243. And then, when I take my cube in there, and I set the cube inside the claw, so that way the claw is holding it, I'm reading that I'm at negative 98 degrees. So, clamp equals negative 98 degrees. Okay? So, with that data, I know my geometry for the claw. Now what I need to do is I need to do the same thing, but for the arm. So, looking at the arm, arms and ankles. There we go. Yeah. So, my arm, down is currently negative 3. All the way up is 630. Now, at a comfortable position for it to travel would be around 245, 250. So that's the information I need for that. Now what I need to do is I need to use that information to make my code. So I'm going to come over here to my Vex V5, and now what you guys need to make sure you've got is your profile already in there, and you need to just start building your code, okay? So I told you to make functions for the claw operations. I'm going to show you how to do that real quick, okay? So first thing I like to do is say, hey, have the brain tell you it's running. So brain dot screen dot print, and I'm just going to say working. I'm going to close my parentheses. Make sure you close it at the end. Now, if you're like me and your eyes are getting a little bit tired and whatnot, you can always come in here and increase the size of your font in order to make it a little bit easier for you to read. But whatever. Now, next thing we're going to work on is we're actually going to set our positions. We're going to define what we're going to do. I want the claw to have 2 functions. I want it to have pickup and then I want it to have put down. Okay, so those are the names of the two functions that I want to create, but now I need to create the bodies of that. So for it to pick up, I'm going to have this thing open, and then I'm going to have it close down onto the box. So I'm going to have it riding around at that negative 243 degrees, and then I'm going to have it clamp down to that negative 98 degrees. So I'm just going to round on that one. So I'm going to say for pickup, I'm going to say claw motor, claw 3, dot spin to position, and I'm going to go to negative 100 degrees. All right. Now to pick up the block, now I need to activate the arm. So I'm going to go with arm 8 dot spin to position. There we go, spin to position. And I'm going to go ahead and have it raise it up 250 degrees. Okay, and then for the definition of putting down, I'm going to do something similar, where I'm going to say my arm, I want it to spin to position. 0, because I'm going to set it as 0, comma, degrees. Close that up. And then my claw, I want to release. Spin to position. We're just going to call that 240 degrees, or 235. I don't want it to be all the way open. I want to make sure it can get there. All right, now here's the key to this though. Before you call on your functions, see, I'm going to have it, obviously I'm going to have it pick up. And then I'm going to have it put it down. Okay, but before I do that, this is where the key for this comes into play, where you have to tell it where it's at, because otherwise your claw and your arm might not be able to spin to that negative 235 degrees or to negative 250 degrees. Okay, so to make sure that they actually can, you need to tell it where it's at the beginning. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take and I'm going to forcefully close the claw at the beginning, but then I'm going to set the claw position. So I'm going to call it claw 3 dot set position, and I'm going to tell it that that's going to be 0 degrees. And I'm also going to do the same thing. I'm going to say arm 8 dot set position, and I'm going to tell it when it's down like that, it's going to be 0 degrees as well. Okay? So what that's going to do is that's going to tell me that tell it that the arm and the claw, when they're closed at the beginning, are both at 0 degrees, wherever that happens to be. Now, that's where it's important that you set it up correctly. So if you have your claw open and you set it to 0, then it's not going to work correctly. So this is for if it's closed all the time. Okay? Now, what I want to have it do though, I want to have it go ahead and drive forward in between the pickup and the put down. So I'm going to call on the drivetrain and say drive 4, forward. I'm just going to have it go 24 inches. It's just an arbitrary distance to have it spin up and go. Okay? And now I'm going to have it pick it up, or I'm going to have it come up, pick it up, drive forward, put it down, and then what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have the brain screen dot print, well, first off, new row, next row, enter, and then I want to have brain screen, I want to have it print, finished. That way I know the code is done. Okay, it's not just stalled out, it actually made it to the end of its code. All right, so now what I'm gonna do is I'm going to go ahead and check it by downloading this, oh, yep, yes, I need to save it. So this is going to be claw set position demo 2. This is the second one I did. All right, let's see if it works the first time. Look at that, it did. All right, so now I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna run it. That worked pretty well, except for a problem. See, I didn't have it spin to position correctly. So now I have to have it set position. I need to have my claw 3, spin to position. And I'm going to have it be negative 240 degrees, or 235 degrees. Close. Now, stopping my code, I've closed my claw, and now I should be able to just go ahead and let me double check to make sure I put what I think I did. Yep. All right, so I'm going to download that. Now I'm going to run it. That's great. It worked. So, here, let me show you guys. Yep. Stop it. With this code, I need to make sure my claw is always closed. So force the claw closed. Now I can hit run. Opening up the claw, then it clamps down on where the box is. Now it's driving forward. Now it sets it back down and it opens it. And it said, working, finished. So, hopefully this helps you out. If it did, cool. If not, well, you should probably be asking me some questions on how to do this. Either way, take care.